everyone. My name is Simar Gill and I am a health and beauty consultant, and I'm also a pranic healer. So today I'm going to interview Mr. Pavitra. He is an engineer and a business consultant, and he also happens to be the president of the New Zealand Pranic Healing Foundation Incorporated. He's also an international coach for the pranic applications course. He happens to have over 21 years of experience in the healing modalities. So today we wanted to discuss about what pranic healing really is, how does it help, how can we use it in our day-to-day life, and who is someone that can be a pranic healer. So over to you.
Atma Namaste.
Atma Namaste.
Thank you, Simar, for a very good introduction. It's really a great pleasure to have Simar today, who is one of my first few students, and she is one of the very disciplined and regular students. So regarding her question, I must tell that this is amazing science, and essentially prana is I will say fundamental source of energy that can help us to be healthy, and also it helps us to regulate our well-being in the way the whole planet needs, or a human being would like to be, So it's very important that we should know the prana, which is very important for a person to live on earth. So it is something that person born with, and then when they die, they absolutely get disconnected with that.
Right.
So if it is so important, why we are not given enough information on that? So Grandmaster Choa was a scientist and also a spiritual person who did a lot of study on pranic applications, prana, and how this actually works on various things. And he found it is very interesting that with proper discipline and proper practice, a person can become a very expert, and they can not only heal themselves, but they can start healing others. So it is like a sharing and caring.
Right. So what sort of conditions can you really heal with the pranic healing?
Look, I mean, it is meant for everybody. Not only even human being, other animals, even the tree. It is not limited to only us. The conditions is that one has to be first very receptive.
Right.
It's like it is raining. You want to catch rainwater, you need a cup. Okay,
Yeah.
At least to hold it. If you go with dish, you will hold only that much.
Right.
So you need a proper receptor to receive it, and also you can say you need to conduct also. You should be conducive to the energy also.
Right.
Both these attributes are important for a person who would like to get benefit of prana. But it is also important that the atmosphere where the healing or we treat a person, that has to be also very pure and clean and ethically, I will say,
Right.
clean. And like in when you go to hospital or any other places, they make sure that the place where they treat you is absolutely sterilized.
Yeah.
And clean. So that kind of requirement exists in healing also.
Right. So when you say receptive, what does that really mean? Like, if someone has never really heard of energy healing or they've never experienced it, how can they be receptive?
See, receptive has got, I can explain it in this way, like when you meet a person and you tell something, he has all, freedom to be curious and be skeptic about it.
Right.
But there is, if some people reject the entire thing without even, knowing it, or before you open your mouth, that basically means that person has got different kind of priority. So he will not be receptive, no matter how much you talk and, waste your time. So what I wanted to tell is that even a person who's curious, who wants to know, wants to give it a try, or have some time that can be spent to understand and understand the intricacy, or I'll say the science,
Yeah.
then he has already become receptive. You don't have to walk much.
Right. So it just takes being open to something new.
Absolutely. Open to something new, or at least interest to seek something, which
Right.
is, you even learn how to wash your clothes. You sometimes learn how to, go to the bank and withdraw money. So all these things are learning, even if they're small, but you need to actually do it yourself to learn it.
That's true. Yeah.
So I personally feel that receptivity is something that people has got at least, they at least take one step, if not the whole, journey. At least
Right.
take one or two steps. So from that, they will be able to not only learn, feel, or experience the enormity of this modality. This is amazing science. So I feel that generally what we do is we organize info talk where people come, because we like people with clean blackboard,
Yeah.
so that people do not have something that they have learned previously, interfere during the conversation or during the info talk. But after that, they are most welcome to ask any kind of questions that they have. So that is what is the first part that we always like to do it. And I do several info talk, not only in New Zealand, in other countries also, like India, Japan and all. I feel that during the info talk, many people get their interest, and they take another step, which is to register themselves for the workshop. And as you know, you are also one of the healer. The healing workshop is very, very enjoyable, interesting,
Yes.
and it's like experimenting with life.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when I first did the course, I was, it was something that I had not even thought about, I guess, because I just was not exposed to any kind of energy healing. And, I knew that people do Reiki, but I didn't really quite understand. And, so I sort of had that curiosity, but
Yeah,
I guess after I did the course and during the whole time of the course, once I really started to feel that energy, that for me, it just opened up a whole different world. And I was like, wow, I had no idea that there's, that something like this even exists.
correct. Lot of people, they either have a very vague idea, or they hear whatever they hear from others. And of course, those who are interested, they would do a lot of study, but these studies are theoretical. When Master used to teach us, he used to tell ourselves, when he was actually leaving, at that point of time, he always said that don't even trust me or believe me, you do it yourself and see how it works. It's like burning a candle, so
Yeah.
you know everybody can do it, but then when you do it yourself, then there is a little bit of anxiety, your hand or fingers may get burnt if you wrongly hold the stick. So those kind of things are very important, and you have to go through the stages where we will help you to understand each and every intricate process to finally deal with the problem, heal a person, and get a feedback and blessings also, because the people, when they get healed and without even touching anyone, without even taking a medication, without even without much effort, like all you have to do is you have to be sitting straight and be receptive, and rest of the thing healers do. So it is kind of magic, but it's not magic, it has a science behind it.
Right.
So I feel that every master's vision was to have at least one healer per family all over the world. In that situation, he envisioned that the whole world will be disease free, and there will be ease of what I call is the living happily presently will be much easier in that case.
Yeah.
Because at least you have, as long as you live healthy. Small here and there some problem can happen, but average person should be healthy. That's the and that we have right to be healthy, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And there are certain things which are do's and don'ts. Like obviously, we do not advise people to take any kind of drug, or any alcoholic or smoking habit should be reduced. Thing can be done very moderately, but certain things can be absolutely avoided to have a better life.
Yeah.
Most of the people who are addicted for some reason, we found that medically they are depressed. They have got some problems in their personal life. So the pranic healing does not only deal with the physical life issues or problems, but we also deal with the mental, emotional, and the spiritual aspects of a human life, which is great, because no other healing, or I will say wellness system, give that kind of flexibility, where you, if you have any relational issues, or you have got any mental or psychological issues, that can be guaranteed for almost normalize within very little time. So we deal with those kind of, then of course obsessiveness and addictive personality, or the person with what do you call is certain anger management, panic character, or those kind of people who want to get rid of them, but then they do not have any clue how to. So those kind of people get a lot of benefits in healing, because this is quicker and also validated, and it can be confirmed how it works.
Right. Okay. That's great. So how does it work? Like, how does the whole, like, for people that don't know anything about energy healing, like, could you share with us, like, how does it really work?
Okay. I'll not be able to give you everything because this is too short for telling, but in nutshell what I can tell is that we have physical body which is visible to everyone.
Yeah.
And when there is any problem in the physical body, then of course we can go and get treated. But the problem is that this is not the end of it, because we have got further layers of our body which are also called mental body, emotional body, etheric body, causal, and there are many other layers. But if the problem is happening in some of those layers which is encapsulating this physical body, then eventually the disease will manifest.
Right.
So our job is to find out where exactly the disease is lying, and it can be done with certain discernment technique. And if you know exactly where the disease is lying or where there is an imbalance, then it can be treated energetically, because we are in the living in the ocean of energy. So energy is everywhere. Yet, unless we know how to hold it or how to absorb it, we will not be able to. So, by manipulating certain doors that we have in our body, we can open them to absorb those energy, and we can close them as soon as they are enough. So we neither overdo it or underdo it. To just maintain a balance, we become all right. Does it answer your question, or you need something?
Yeah. I mean, that does answer my question, because, for me, like, I didn't really understand these things before I did the pranic applications course, and what I really found was that how much the energy, like, even if the problem is in our physical body, it can impact our energy body. And when you change those, when you work with the energy body, it can actually really impact your physical body. And the same goes with your mindset as well. If you have a really negative mindset, that can really impact your
physical well-being.
Yeah.
Correct. In fact, the energy when we eat, the kind of food we eat, it changes our personality over a period of time. It can change our mood. It can change our sleeping habit, stress. Right. Everything is depending on the food, which turns into energy. That everybody will endorse that what we eat is finally becoming energy.
Yes.
If you don't eat, will you be energetic? No. You will feel very, very depleted. So when we eat, we get energy. But what kind of energy? That's very important. Is it in line with how we are created, or it is something that is just to provide you sense of being energetic for some short time, and then again you feel depleted? This is very important, because we have to keep our energy at a level and we sustain it for some time. We should have the holding capacity. If you do not know how to, it will leak out.
Right.
Correct. So there are also the energy drainage. Where we drain our energy. Going to a place where people are fighting or people are sick. Even if you go to hospital, even you feel very healthy, spend some time, you will feel a bit tired. The reason for that is that the hospital energy is ethically dirty, because a lot of sick person are around, they are not very happy, isn't it? So because of that, the atmosphere, it has been clairvoyantly seen that it's not very bright, it is little grayish, and the energy is not, I'll say, harmonious with the healthy energy.
Right.
Similarly, people think the health or hospital, health center or hospital is the only place where you can get contaminated energy. It's not like that. The contamination or contaminated energy can be also there in place of cremation or graveyard, or it can be also be very contaminated where people do the gambling, or where people go for drinking and fights and things like that. Right. How can a place of war where it's war zone be very positive? Yes. There will be the negative energy. As such, when you go, you will have certain influence on your system.
Yeah.
And that can be very long lasting. And in order to get you rid of that, you have to do certain things. Even if you come from hospital, at least in our culture, they say immediately go to the shower, take a shower, and then you eat or drink or anything. So what they mean by that is that when you take a shower, you feel refreshed. Some of your energy that might have, caught in your aura
Right.
would be dissolved, or it will go. So that's the idea of what I mean by energy. If you have got a place where people are always fighting, or they are not very supportive, you will suddenly feel a little bit of repulsiveness in you when you go there, and you will not be able to stay there for a long time. At the same time, you go to a place where people are very lively, they are enjoying, they are laughing, they are, like a picnic party, for that sake.
Yes.
So you will love to, continue that. But unfortunately, picnic party has to end if it has started sometime. But then you do not mind, prolonging that for some more time. The reason is that energy around a party or a picnic party, where you are exposed to sun, air, everything, you feel very comfortable and drawn to.
Yeah.
That's the little bit of idea about what I mean by the energy.
Right.
But in detail, of course, you need to have. There are so many kinds of energy if you break it, and those energy which are good for somebody may not be good for others. Some of them are good for everyone. So all those things are taught in detail when we do a workshop.
Right.
But one thing that everyone can do, and I insist that people should do, is what I call is physical exercise and meditation. These two things, I'm sure, Simar, you are doing.
Yes.
And how do you feel about it? You can explain it to the audience.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I wasn't doing meditation for quite a few months. And then last month I was, in January, I was like, okay, my New Year's resolution is to do meditation every day.
Great.
So, I started doing the meditation, and I just felt so different. The whole, the chatter in my head, because it was always like, this thought would come, and then I'm like, oh, this thing happened, and then this thing, and it was like an ongoing drama in my head. And I feel like since I've started doing the meditation, my mind's just really, been able to focus.
Yep.
And that focus has really allowed me to look at all the different projects that I've taken on, and just be more focused on my projects. But also I'm getting a lot of new ideas, because I guess my mind is not always distracted with different things. So I find that it's really helping me in my work. It's helping me in terms of my peace of mind.
Yeah.
And also my health, because I feel like before, with all of that distraction in my head, it was just there was no space for me to just be mindful of what I'm eating or how I'm doing things, so yeah. I feel a huge difference.
Yes.
Just doing the meditation.
What happens is, in the exactly what I'm talking about. I'm just trying to repeat it, but for benefit of the audience, I would like to say that most of the time we are not in the present moment, and the mental chatter or all those things that happens in our mind, it will take you into the past and bring it to the present, and again let you think more about the future, which is also not yet happened. So it's like you are like tossed by your mind, into the past and to the future and the present, a very short time in the present. As a result, what happens is, even doing nothing, you can become very tired mentally.
Yes, that's
okay.
So true.
So for that, it is very important that our mind should be still. For awareness, it's very important that our mind should be very, 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 very still.
Yeah.
As you have rightly said, that when your mind becomes still, many ideas started coming. In fact, I would say, yeah, let ideas come. No
Yes.
problem. There is no harm in looking at them as you look at the movies, you know.
Yes.
But don't be part of all the ideas, because they are not your ideas.
Yes.
Some of them are projected at you because you hear it, read it, listen to it, or it comes as a thought form.
Yeah.
But you can find whichever is very, very harmonious with your ability, with your mindset, and then you can dwell on it, you can ride on it, you can be with it. So yes, I mean, ideas are also kind of energy. It is also, thought follows energy. Wherever there is energy, thought follows. So it is so as they are energy, this can also be dealt with the energy science, which is, you know, prana applications. Now, pranic applications almost covers almost all the inner faculties of our human being as such. So it covers emotional, mental, psychological, and also the relational aspects.
Right. So when it comes to the pranic applications, is it just does it just apply to people, or can it also apply to like projects or businesses or whatever it is that people want to really take on?
That's a very good question. In fact, when we do workshop, we explain people that it is not the energy of the human being that is counted in the energy science. Everything that you see or touch or feel, they all have got certain kind of energy profile.
Right.
And the energy profile has got certain structure, okay, which can be manipulated, or which can be straightened, or which can be made better. So if they are not working the way it should work, it can be living, non-living, any kind of thing. Our consciousness or awareness has to pick up or has to scan, or has to discern where the problem lies. If we can find out the problem, it can be rectified, or it can be, I'll say, managed. And there is no doubt. That's the reason why we, in the advanced courses, we teach how people can work on their project, because the projects are creation.
Right.
Okay, just like we are created by our Creator, we create our projects, which can be small, big, billion dollar, multi-million dollar,
Yeah.
anything. Projects are projects, or it has no monetary value, but it's a project. So if those projects are harmonious with your energy, then it works very well. If you are not harmonious, suppose, for example, a person who's a doctor, he try and heal a person, or a teacher who try and groom a person. Now you change them, you tell them, okay, let us go and defend our country, give a gun to them. So naturally the profession are not harmonious to where they are. So it will not, definitely they will fail to, they will be easy prey for the enemies. That's what I'm trying to say, that people have certain kind of harmony right from their birth, and if we know how to tap that energy, then you do successfully everything. And if you do not know how to tap, or you are not interested enough, no matter what you do, you will not be able to be successful.
Move forward, yeah. Okay, awesome. Yeah, so my last question
yes
is who can really learn this? Like, do you have to have that sensitivity to the energy, or be a little, be clairvoyant, or who can really learn the energy healing, or you know?
Except the age restriction, there is no restriction. It is meant for everyone. Age restriction because you need certain amount of maturity to learn this kind of techniques. Essentially, we say after 16, people
Right.
can start learning it. Male, female, color, or what you call it, race, country, religion, doesn't matter, because this is non-sectarian and non-religious. It's not a cult, it's a science. Just like you have interest in social science, biology or mathematics, this is also something similar to that. But with very good, I'll say, logic, very good scientific information to back up. Also, certain old, what you call is information which used, which are forgotten now. They are also going to be taught, and that is going to be really, really beneficial. I'll not say that it has got any dogmas. It doesn't have any dogmas.
Right.
You do it and see how it works. If it doesn't work, you don't have to do it that way. So it is. It has been validated on each and every step. So that's how it works. And you do not have to have a special ability like you are telling me, whether he has to be clairvoyant, clairaudience. No, nothing like that. You should be as ordinary as possible. In fact, those kind of ability which people have because of certain difference in their, I'll say, energy system or energy body, it does not give them any extra advantage. Actually, one has to be really, really persuasive, and they have to practice to go forward. If you do not do your whole ability to help others or share others or heal, it will be not, it will not happen to that extent which is required. So that is why practice, practice, practice. That's the main thing. And rest of the thing is you leave it. As you practice, like you practice your car or you practice your any other things, for that's any professional work that you do. So more you practice, that is the point of difference between you and the others.
Right.
It is no difference. It's same rule applies here also. As you practice more, you will be better than you can become better than others. And the most important thing is that when you learn it, you will be able to judge on your own, within you, that what is most important, what can be prioritized, and what you can delay or you can wait for.
Well, thank you so much, Pavitra ji. It has been lovely talking to you, and thank you for really sharing your wisdom with us, creating the whole world of pranic healing, and how we can benefit from that. So
thank you. Atma Namaste, Simar. Thank you for this interview, and also bringing this to the audience, who would be really who will get benefit of this conversation, because a lot of questions that you have asked makes a lot of sense for those who are seeking healing and energy healing. So I thank you, everybody, and I also ask for the blessings for everyone in the healing community as well as the planet. So be it. Thank you.
thank you. Atma Namaste.